Okay, so this is a bit unusual. This video starts in the shed, but I'm in the American barn, usual mess. Nothing's changed here. Just got back from Winton Raceway, no, I didn't take any cars down there. It was an antenna deal. And caught up with a good old mate of mine, Peter, VK3QI. Absolutely great guy, knowledgeable, plus. Excellent guy. But as you can see, what did we work out? It was a 24 volt they're feeding up. Yep, 24 volt supply. They run up the lines to these Ultrabeams. And I'm just going to show you what we're going to do. We're not going to get it up today. It's late in the day. I've just come back and actually caught up with another great mate of mine, Shane, VK3KHS, but now is VK3 Mike Sugar. Great call sign, that one. I tell you what, he did well to snag that. I think it's a tough call sign. Love it, Shane. Anyway, good to catch up with Shane and say g'day. And let's just show you what we've been up to. This antenna it will go from 40 meters through to 6 meters. It's got the well, I'll show you what it's got in a second. But I wanted it to just to give us an. I mean, you're going to say, well, hang on, you've got antennas for 40, you've got antennas for, big beams for 20 meters, for all the WARC bands through to 10 meters. Obviously, we've got the 40 meter 4-element going back up very, very soon. And why do you want this? Well, I'll explain. Okay, I'm inside where the book was. I forgot I bought the book inside. So it's the UB-50 3-element 6 through to 40 meters. Now, obviously, they get their 3 elements 1, 2, 3 through there, and they space them electronically, and then they retract 2 of the elements completely to then bring the 40 meter element around the outside there. And very nice design, these things. As you can see here, actually, just to give you there's your director, driver, and driver there. There's the 40 meter element. See how it comes right around there. So it gives you 4.8 meters there, 5.3 there, another 5.3 there, another 4.8 meters there. So you're getting about 20 meters roughly out of your configuration there. And this makes it quite a reasonable design for as a rotatable dipole on 40 and 30. And most people don't have a decent antenna for 30. Most people have something on 40 that's pretty good. Rotatable on 30, you don't use 30 so much, and sort of nice if you've got something that you can swing around. And I'll show you where we're going to put this one, because it was begging to go in the spot. And as you can see, they have 3 EHUs, so basically the little motor units. These, if you guys remember back, I was one of the early stepper dealers that was plagued with the broken spindles that used to happen on these things. And then Ultrabeam came out with one, and when I pulled one to bits back in the early 2000s, I just went, haha, Ultrabeam, you guys have thought through the broken spindle problem that Stepper have had so many problems with. Now, Stepper have sorted that out now, and I think really have got, it's like any product. It was early days, and it was a little bit immature in its design. Mainly things that they couldn't have known. They thought that we were literally sending these EHUs to defence, and the spindle themselves, just through shipping, was they have a big coil on it, was actually breaking. Now this was on the Steppers, not the Ultrabeam, just to be very, very clear. The Ultrabeam their motor design has always been quite incredible, and obviously just goes through all the testing sort of procedures, etc, etc, etc. Now another thing that Ultrabeam did was they set up plugs and sockets. The other thing was that the Steppers had terminals, which was terrible on their EHUs. Look, I say terrible, but they were the first ones to do it. So it's all right for me to say, hey, Stepper could have designed this better. But Ultrabeam did get the opportunity to be able to say, let's look at what Stepper's done. How can we do it better? So they did have an advantage there for sure. There was quite a legal suit about that. I don't know. I never really heard what happened there. Anyway, so the EHUs just go onto the boom plates, and I'll show you that in a second, and etc, etc. And look, not a difficult antenna to put together. The controller wiring is actually very simple. See, there were a lot of things that Ultrabeam did that, they decided that let's make it idiot proof in a lot of ways, you know, and that was the thing. Stepper expected you to, you know, be a little bit clever in when you're putting one together in the early days, once again. But I'm not knocking Stepper, by the way. I think their product these days is a hell of a lot better than the early days. So please don't think that, you know, this video is about knocking Stepper. I think that both now, you know, probably come a long way. All right, well, warranty conditions. Well, this one might be a bit out of warranty when you see it in a minute. And but anyway, that's the Ultrabeam UB-50, 3 elements, 6 to 40, single element 30 through to 40. Okay, so I've had to get in the shade here to try and get a decent shot of this 3-section Nelly. And, oh, the dogs are going to go crazy now. I have to be quiet. Okay, so 3-section Nelly. Sorry, we've got a couple of big dogs in at the moment that they get a bit rattled if they hear a voice. It's going to go up the top there. We're going to take off the Invo antenna from the UK. We're going to leave the 6 metre 6 element. Even though we get 5 elements on the Ultrabeam, it's nice to have that 6 element wide spaced OptiBeam up the top for 6 metres. Oh boy, hang on. Just been yelling quite a few times to see if that might do it. Anyway, so it'll get up there about 70 feet. So this is a tower that was Ken's, good old mate of mine, VK2KP, and before Ken died, he was moving from his country property. We went over to the coast and took this down. The only thing we're going to change is I'm getting old, tired, weak, I don't know. And when I first got this tower, I could whip this up and down. Oh, you know what, it's still a bit of an effort. But electric winch is sitting in the American barn right now, so all we'll do is we'll swap that out, put the electric winch on there, and for rolling this thing, you know, down over the side, it's going to be a lot easier. This actually has been a bit of a problem for me as I've got a bit older. And actually, I had Steve here, VK3 SMW, and he's a pretty strong guy, and even he said, "Oh, mate, don't make me do that again. Put the electric winch on." He's pretty right anyway. But yeah, so that's this is the larger tower Ken had made. And if you ever want the story of this tower, I'm not the one to tell it. VK3 AWO is the one to talk to about VK2 KP's tower, because everybody comes here and looks at it and they go, "Oh, well, that's just a 3-section Nelly," and it's just not. There's things like straight away the hole size is 250mm versus 200mm. The thing, if you measure it, is larger. The Rio, lots of things, but Doug can tell the story of this much better than I ever could, and it's a beautiful tower, and it really is. You know, like, we've had this go through some winds like you wouldn't believe. And if you want to know what that noise is over there, that's called guinea fowl, and they're the ones that get our brown snakes for us. As you can see, we are doing loads of building at the moment. We are so busy with so much going on. I just had the crane here the other day moving some blocks into place around this building, and we're going to do another shed over here. We're actually going to do some folder doors that go there, but all see-through. So I'm going to put the Porsche and the Corvette there so you can actually see it, you know. So I'm a bit wanky, but anyway. All right, back onto this Ultrabeam. Let's just see. You're seeing where it's going to go over there in this mess, but here it is here. Hang on. One of the things I love about this trailer is that, you know, look, I've just grabbed a few octopus straps and chucked it around. Because it's enclosed, it's just so handy for doing, you know, antennas, towers, you name it. We can go over the top of the front there with longer towers as well, and it's not difficult to do. As you can see, they do Ultrabeam do different to the steppers. Steppers used a round boom. We've had the stepper booms crack. We had a monster 4-element monster that it cracked actually in the middle. It was really weird. You know, I think Tom's 100% right, as our Ultrabeam, in using the square booms. This is not a heavy antenna. It's only 30 odd kilos, so you know, we're only going to be 30 odd kilos up the top of that tower there, so can't even see that with the sun. Sorry. Now the good news is Pete's VK3QI. He's made notes on everything, made our life so much easier. We are going to do these here. I've just got to source the coating. Is it Krylon? I'm trying to remember. Sorry, Pete did tell me. And but there's a few different things that can actually, you know, sort of be used. But So basically it breaks down when you look at it. I mean, we're lucky that we've been able to chuck it on this trailer, because otherwise we'd have to, you know, have all these sleeves, all those connections there, sort of, because they're telescopic. They're only the length of this first section here when they collapse down. But this is going to save us so much time, because we're literally going to drop that tower over into the dog kennels over there. That sun's going to be a pain, and put together one half of it, and then whip it back up with the motor, turn the rotator around, whip it down, bang, you know, sort of, and then we'll bury some cables. We've got LDF 650 going to be feeding that tower there, at least to the base, because we're a good, you know, 30 metres by the time we get to the top of the tower. Actually, no, we'd be 30 metres. Sorry, no, we'd be 30 metres to the room, to the base of the tower, then plus the length to go there. But anyway, you can see, look, it's a very straightforward antenna, especially when you get it like this, because it's sort of already ready to go. As you can see in there, that's the 2 extra elements for 6 metres, so, you know, that makes life a lot easier. Of course, you've got your turnaround sections with the bends over there, so that creates the big, you know, sort of square that you see, rectangle, etc. Now I'll just show you the motors. I've got a couple of bits in the car. Saying about the motors in the cars, but yeah, look, this is the Ultrabeam motor. That's and they actually quite clever how, you know, they just bracket on very, very simply, they, you know what, this antenna's about 4 or 5 years old, so the EHU in the black has really done well. Obviously the coating of some of these elements is why we'll redo those, and but yeah, I'm surprised. A lot of the stepper ones that I've had motors for years with different steppers that we've had here. You know, the colour gets a bit of a tinge on the grey on those, but the black seems to have survived pretty well. My trusty Pajero, out of all the cars I own, seriously, this is the most reliable one. And I know you're going to say, what? But this is a 2006, I think, Pajero. It's done 100,000 Ks, that's it, hasn't done much. I bought it when it was 60,000 Ks. And it drags this big trailer around beautifully. It's never missed a beat. Probably setting myself up for a fall there, aren't I? We'll see what happens. Okay, yeah, so now obviously you've got 2 more EHU units let's go on there. And once again, you know, they're all marked, director 2, driven element, etc. Of course, this was the other thing I was talking about. Some lovely cable here. It's good low loss cable here, which is great, but this is more what I was going to show you. This is where I think I like the design of Ultrabeam so much. You know, these are nice, weatherproof, good quality, etc, etc. And what Peter's done for me is, you know, he's even got, you know, which one's the driver, which one's the reflector, driven element 1 and 2, etc. And then they have a it's a bit of a patch that turns a relay. When you go to 40 meters, it sort of switches out some of those elements, or those EHUs. So 2 of the EHUs get switched out, and this is just the patch cable that switches in the whole 40 system. So yeah, but overall, apart from I got a little bit short here, I just pop it through there. But we met down at Winton Raceway, just off the freeway there, and a couple of hours talking to Pete. Fantastic time, really was. It's good to catch up with old mates, and been quite a while. We were trying to work it out, actually. We reckon it was one of the Hamfests down Melbourne way, but anyway, we'll obviously get this all cleaned up, get it all looking nice. We've just got to grab some product to put on it, rub them all down, just give them a good coat, and then I'd say this one won't be very long before we'll have this back up in the air. Unfortunately, it was a deceased estate, and a chap that died a couple of years back, and always sad to lose hams, but it's always good to, a bit like Ken's tower, you know, it's a great memory of Ken having that tower here. It's and I unfortunately didn't know the chap that owned this antenna, so I can't sort of claim too much, but you know, still it's nice to put it to use, and likewise, you know, hopefully the dollars you know, helps somebody out down the other end. Full disclosure, we paid asking price on the VK Classifieds for this one, $3,000. We were third in line for it, actually, and I thought for sure buyer number 1 or buyer number 2 would grab it, and I'd missed out on it. And Pete's so, you know, by the book, and I've got to give it to him. He's right. He did the right thing. I complained to him initially. I said, yeah, but I'm ready to pay for it. You've got people that want to come and look at it that, you know, may or may not take it. We'll take it as is, and, you know, typical Brenton. And Pete said to me, he said, mate, look, I've already agreed to say, come and, you know, you guys come and see it. And but as Pete said, you never know. They might not buy it. Anyway, one didn't turn up, and the other one turned up and went, well, that's just too big. And I'm really happy. You know, I was rapt that I didn't expect Pete's email. I sort of thought, oh, when I got it, I thought, oh, hang on, this is actually going to happen, because I really do think this is a great antenna to put in this particular spot. It's not too heavy, covers a lot of bands. You know, a lot of people are a bit funny on motorised antennas and, you know, the failure rates of them. Look, it's a bit hit and miss. I think you either have a good one or a bad one. You know, be nice to old people like me, and you know, do the right thing in life, and your motors will last longer. I think, you know, it's all about just trying to do as much as you can to, you know, help people in life and have the right motives and all that sort of stuff. All right, well, there you go. So I just thought I'd take the pressure off these bits here. We're not driving now, so we can just sort of take them off, and hang on.